Hey guys, Disler Magic here, and I don't know about you, but I cannot stop thinking about iconic masters. Mostly because, well, if you've been watching my channel, you know I'm going to dump thousands of dollars into it. Also, all of the cards are going to be spoiled all in one day at the Hasbro convention thing. Also, it's the second Masters set to come out this year. It feels like the third because I don't know if you remember when Eternal Masters was. I mean, technically, I think it was December last year, so close enough. Okay, it came out for the second time in December, whatever. Something like that. So it feels like an awful lot in a row. And that one was great, then bombed. Then MM3 was like in a quantum state of being amazing and bombing at the same time. Well, you probably heard how it went. Basically, oh, every vendor's canceling pre-orders because everybody, got a dirt cheap pre-order because everybody assumed it sucked for some reason. I guess it was the front artwork or whatever. Oh, and then it shot way up. Oh my gosh. Oh, and then it fell back down. Now all the douchebag customers are canceling the pre-orders and screwing over the vendors. It's almost like a certain portion of the customers and the vendors are terrible people. Imagine that. What a concept. So to say I'm hoping that Iconic Masters is worth a lot of money and sells well is an understatement. I need this money, and more than that, I need to not lose money on this. Like, that is the bottom line. So everybody's been speculating either for money reasons, sales reasons, popularity, predictive, will boxes fall to 170? Should I wait to pre-order? That kind of thing. Everybody's kind of wondering about the overall success of it, I guess you would say, for one reason or another. Well, it looks like we're headed to MM3 territory again because what we know so far makes it sound absolutely horrible. Horrible. I mean, we're way past, oh no, the 3 artworks on the front are cheap cards bad. This is like, damn bad. Here's just about the only paragraph that we know about Iconic Masters because they're being very, very tight-lipped and shockingly nobody's leaked the entire set yet. This is written by Wizards. It's on their official product page for Iconic Masters. Iconic Masters offers players a tour through some of the most powerful cards in over 20 years of Magic history. Featuring new artwork on many cards, the set brings an array of massive angels, sphinxes, demons, dragons, and hydras, does not say and more after that list, alongside some of our favorite and most memorable spells. Now remember, spells can be anything. Could be an artifact, enchantment, instant, sorcery, creature, whatever. Although if it was creature, I feel like they would have said that and they just named the creatures. Alright, let's get like some prices right going. Name an expensive sphinx. I'll give you a hint. There's one. Name an expensive demon. I would dare say there's 0. I mean, technically I don't know many cards before 8th edition, obviously, because I don't play Vintage or Legacy, but Grizzlebrand is like $6 now. Hydra's, I don't know, Mistcutter might be like $4. Progenitus, I guess, that's not even that expensive. I mean, he's going to be in there. That's a given. Angels, there's a couple. I mean, that one's all right. There's a couple valuable angels. There's not a whole lot, though, and none of them are iconic, I guess I would say. Like Sarah Angel, there we go. Now we're talking. I mean, most famous angel in existence, arguably. And even like, Gisela, she's pretty awesome. Why would you reprint her? It doesn't make sense. And this is a 100% reprint set. So it's like every sentence made this sound potentially worse. And keep in mind, potentially, okay? This is not a sure thing at all. Okay, first sentence. Most powerful cards in over 20 years of Magic history. By over 20, they mean 24. Okay, so some of the cards will be older than Modern. Well, Modern makes money, Vintage and Legacy kind of don't. Now, Commander is obviously a bigger Eternal format than Vintage and Legacy, but as soon as you start buying 1 copy of a card instead of 4, goodbye, it goes down the toilet. Not to say that every Vintage and Legacy deck runs 4 of, they usually don't. So also, they're restricted by anything older than 8th edition, actually much, 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 much older, to not printing anything on the reserve list. So if you're going to go past 8th edition and start printing older stuff, whoops, you got to navigate around that minefield. So that doesn't bode well. Next sentence, featuring new artwork on many cards. Okay, why would they pay artists, a couple grand and do all the scanning and optimization and print testing and prototyping and all that crap to put new artwork on a card for a reprint set that's supposed to be honestly all about money? I mean, how many alternate arts were in MM3? I'm actually asking that. I have no idea. I feel like it really wasn't a lot. I mean, I actually can't think of any. So I'm sure there were some, but the numbers were so small. And it's like, why spend money if you don't have to? I mean, the ink looks better these days as long as you don't get a massive, misprint like most of them. So it's like, whatever. You want a Blood Moon? Cool. This looks better than the old Blood Moons. Like, whatever. So why would Wizards put new artwork on, quote, many cards? Well, it's because they didn't think people would buy the set otherwise. Because if they really, really, really get really good artwork on a card, they will probably say, okay, there's some value there. This is going to sell better. We can lean on this. And then reflexively, okay, the set has no value in it. We got to give people a reason to buy this. I can see both sides of it, which it's not really even two sides. It's the exact same thing. It's just new artwork sells cards. People would be like, oh, I don't like the old artwork. That looks dumb. That looks dorky. This is stupid. I don't like the backdrop. The colors are faded. Ooh, look at this new one. They just prefer it. Or they just don't like the look of like white bordered cards, for example. And like I said, the ink didn't look very good back then either. I would actually be quicker to blame the computers than the ink, but whatever. So then the next sentence, I already hit on this. What the hell kind of expensive angel, sphinx, demon, dragon, or hydra is in the game? I mean, not a lot of $50 cards jump out at me, but you're talking spells, which they did mention. Assuming they do mean instants and sorceries and that's it, but they could not. I mean, it's vague. That's where the money is, and the lands and the planeswalkers. I mean, no doubt that's where all the money in Magic is, for the most part. So, iconic. How can you not print like Lilianas and Jaces and stuff, even though they just printed them? How could you not put them in Iconic Masters? And plus, they've done reprints back-to-back. I mean, Tarmogoyf, I think, was back-to-back-to-back, if I'm not mistaken. I think I might be, actually. I think MM2 was... I don't remember. But the point is, they have done back-to-back, and I think even with, like, Masterpieces, they've done back-to-back-to-back. I feel like Mana Vault came out a couple times or something. I don't know. So then they use the terms favorite and memorable instead of valuable and valuable. Although, I mean, would they really come out and say some of the most expensive cards in all of Magic? Like, no, that's so bad. Here's a sentence I didn't even read. Get your friends together and embark on one of the most iconic and power-packed, which, okay, power-packed, that implies value, but still, draft experiences ever. Oh, it's a draft set. It's designed specifically to draft, which all of them are. Every set pretty much released that I could remember was designed to be drafted, because why would they not? And it's not like they crippled the set just to make it draftable. Well, too much. I mean, obviously they had to do a little bit. But if they're pushing the whole draft thing, they're giving people another reason to buy it other than value, random chance, good return, good box EV, all that. So collectability of the alternate artworks, telling people to draft it, and just saying it's your favorite, it's your favorite. It's all like trying to distract people away from the fact that it won't be a good set. That's the theory, at least. That's like the prevailing theory online, that this is going to be like a collector's heavy set. They might either overprint it to death and it'll be worth nothing, or they're going to underprint it, except not really underprinted. It's just going to be a short print run because it's only going to be really collectible and exciting and sought after by like hardcore Liliana fans and Jace fans and Ob Nixilis fans and whoever else is in there. But yeah, picking up one card is a lot easier than picking up a sealed product, and people will stop opening it if it's not profitable. So it's a perfect storm that might backfire. But all this leads up to what the title already stated for this video. What do I think they will do about this? Because first I had to establish the problem. Now it's, okay, why do I think that whole theory, even though it makes perfect sense that I'm the one who started it, why it's not true? Well, at least it's going to be true for probably 75% of the cards. But, one, everything Wizards has done lately has been to make more money. Every change to Magic the Gathering, every product change, staff change, everything has been to fix the product and make more money, or to stop losing money in most cases. But I mean, come on, treasure chests or whatever in MTGO, yeah, that was for money. That wasn't for the customers. Trying to promote it as a streamable esport, even though there's nothing electronic about paper cards, that's money. They just want money, viewers, popularity. Teaming up to make an MMO, they want money. Licensing out their IP to Puzzle Quest, they want money. Thankfully, that one turned out. So, Iconic Masters, let's just all universally agree that we can let it suck. No, I feel like they probably didn't have that meeting. So, The problem is they have to work around everything they just said now. It sounds terrible. How are they going to do it? And people are saying they're going to put in these lands. I forgot the name of them, but they haven't been printed in forever. This would be the perfect time to print them. They are very iconic. They're not on the reserve list. I think some type of staple land is an automatic guarantee in every other master set minimum, we'll say. And that's because, like I said, lands are expensive. Lands drive the format. Everybody needs lands. They're just, by sheer numbers, the most sought-after cards, and that's all there is to it. So, yeah, drop in 5 or 10 really good lands, maybe even 15, and you've almost got the whole thing solved. In fact, if they're all at rarity, which would be weird because iconic spells are usually rare or mythic, so that's going to be a little bit crowded. But if they snuck them in, you've got value. I mean, even if it devolves to, like, there's 50 rares and there's 10 good rare lands in it. Like, if they did, like, all 10 fetch lands because those are, quote, iconic. There you go. 1 in 5 shot at something worth, you know, more than the MSRP. Cool. I like it. I think that would alone solve it. Do I think they'll do that? Probably not. I think the lands that everybody are mentioning, I think there's 5 of them, and I think they will print them. But other than that, here's my grand theory. Are you ready for this? You might want to go, like, cut a seatbelt out of your car and attach it to your chair. I'm still assuming you guys are sitting in front of a computer. According to my stats, like, that's not true for, like, 40% of you. In fact, I've heard from some of you, like, oh, I just watch, like, your stuff while I'm on the bus. I'm like, all right. I mean, personally, I can't stand watching videos on my smartphone, but, I don't know, you guys are weird. You darn kids and your technology, get your smartphones off my lawn. I don't have a lawn, I live in an apartment. Anyway, brace yourself. I think that they're going to reprint a boatload of commanders. Because think about it, when the hell have they ever reprinted a commander? Like verbatim, not the character, literally the commander card. And I don't mean a giant promo foil or a giveaway or, you know, judge, like a real release. So far, Modern Masters has not put commanders in it because it's not called Commander Masters. Even Eternal Masters didn't, though, and I thought that was actually a little bit surprising, but they were specifically targeting Legacy and Vintage. I think they even said that. So, if you want an Atraxa Praetor's voice right now, it's like $21 on eBay and even more expensive from retailers. That's a lot. I don't even remember how much Commander decks cost. I think they're like 30 bucks or something, or 35, whatever. I don't remember. But the problem is the generals are the staple. They're so powerful, it's the card you see. It's how some people even pick out the deck and the product in the first place. And some people want to build an entirely new deck out of it and they just want to buy it. So I just have this weird feeling that, okay, you take 100 booster packs, open them, sort the cards, sell them. Great. Whatever. It's weird. It's counterproductive. It looks like that scene from Willy Wonka with the chocolate bars. Like, seriously, that's what it looks like. I've done it. We've opened 140 boxes. It was just so much fun. You totally don't, like, start opening cards in your sleep and tasting the ink in the air. But, when the big single sellers get in shipments of Commander products all nice and, you know, together and all that, they rip them all apart and sell the singles. It's like, they put it together for a reason. You just, like, ruined the product. It's almost like disrespecting the product, except not really, because how else are you going to buy a Commander? If the big people didn't do it, it would be like the whole ban on 5th edition players' handbooks. For the first 2 months after they released, you could not even find one on eBay. They didn't exist. So if you wanted to pick one up secondhand, you couldn't. You had to buy it from a local gaming store or a place that was like an official Dungeons & Dragons retailer. Now, you could find in the history some onesie-twosie ones that got bought up in 10 minutes by somebody who bought them or accidentally bought two, or their friend got out of it, or their group broke up or whatever, and they threw them up personally. Nothing blocking that. But without the big guys, the big resellers able to post it, because Wizards will find you if you post a sealed, like, brand new Dungeons & Dragons handbook a week after they came out. They will buy it themselves, allegedly, ship it to themselves, or a dummy person, get the from address, and then ban, or tell every single one of the distributors to ban that person from ever buying another Dungeons & Dragons book as long as they live. That's the rumor, at least. Seems to be working, because you could not find one on eBay. Now, right now you can, and they're all used. It's like, okay, cool. So imagine trying to buy an Atraxa Praetor's voice from just random people who decided they weren't working out as a general. Or I mean as a commander. A lot of people call them generals. I do too. I don't know why. Yeah, you wouldn't. You would have to buy it sealed and you'd have to rip it apart yourself to rebuild it. Or just, you know, keep 30% of the cards at least. I would think realistically that's what people do because a lot of times they're kind of spot on with what you want to do. So thankfully there's people out there ordering 1,000 commander decks, ripping them all apart and then selling the singles, especially the commander. Otherwise you just wouldn't be able to buy them single. But that's dumb. Plainly stated, Wizards is leaving money on the table. Customers want something in the form that you're selling it to them. It's one time ever. It's in a product where they have to buy a whole rest of the product that costs more that they may or may not want. And then after that it's done and they can never get another copy. Well, except for the secondary market, and the Wizards doesn't make anything off that. Except for when they initially bought them, but whatever. So why the hell haven't they reprinted Atraxa? Well, I mean, Commander 2016, hello, that would be a little bit early. But there's some, like 2012 ones I think are really popular. I mean, any release, there's a couple really popular ones. You just can't get them. So it's, because you can't get them and drove up the price, it's automatic money. So iconic masters. I mean, I can't name very many really super iconic, like commander printed ones. I couldn't even find a list of all of them to review and skim, but they're out there. I'm pretty sure Gisela, her first edition was one of them, not the recent Gisela. I mean, you got a couple people from like Ravnica, they were on there, I think. You got like some liches, you got dragons, demons, angels, half the crap that they just mentioned, actually. I'm pretty sure like Ghost Council was one of them, but not the one you're thinking of, the even older Ghost Council. Okay, I'm not going to massacre any more of these with utter guesses, because that's what they are, but, you know, if you wanted like a Marath or something, good luck finding it, frickin' Commander 2013. So a lot of these, just because of the MSRP of Commander decks, are high. Even if the demand wouldn't normally place the card at, we'll say, $15, the fact that the only way to get one of the cards was to open up one of the packs, yeah, it's $15. So guess what? Dollar signs appearing on Wizards' eyes there. So I think that for that reason, because it's guaranteed money and the theme of the set, the whole, oh, it's iconic, it's memorable, it's popular, it's powerful. Yeah, you're describing the commanders, definitely. I mean, they wouldn't even put them in a commander deck if they didn't have at least a little bit of storyline behind them. So you heard it here, folks. My official theory is that they're going to be putting commanders in Iconic Masters. And if they don't, I think within 2 years, they'll find a way to slip them into some kind of Masters thing. So if you don't see them this time around, don't get too confused because this theory really sounds right. You'll probably just have to wait long enough because at a certain point, they're either going to have to print like a Commander anthology every single year, then hope people buy it, which is, again, the same mistake twice. I want the Commander and I don't want the rest of the deck. I don't want to pay full price. Oh, well, let's double down on that. Now you have to buy an entire anthology, which, I mean, the MSRP on that was outrageous. I mean, for what you got, it was worth it, but it wasn't within everybody's price range. So to just get one copy of one commander that way, I don't think so. You just made it like 4 times more expensive or whatever than the first time around. That didn't solve anything other than, I guess, technically putting more cards out onto the market, but it's so lopsided it just wouldn't work. So anthologies are not the answer, and I don't think that they're saving commanders and commander decks for anthologies. Plus, it's not like it's 16 decks in the anthology. I mean, there's a lot of commanders out there that people want. So I think that commanders that were printed as commanders, not just popular commanders that are coincidentally, you know, legendary creatures and they were in standard at some point. No, I mean literally commander deck commanders are going to be printed either on Iconic Masters or really, really soon. So look out for that. Let me know what you think about my interesting theory, and I will see you guys next video.